Hi, I'm Larry, and this is my story. Raised as a Roman Catholic, my mom made sure I went to church every Sunday, because if you didn't, it was a sin. Anyway, went all through the church every Sunday, got confirmed, was an altar boy, really entrenched. Yeah, well, the way that happened was at the ripe old age of 20, I got married. And that shockingly, the marriage only lasted about 3 years. And when we were divorced, I got actually got a letter from the Catholic Church, formal letter, excommunicating me from the Catholic Church. At first, it didn't really sink in. I kind of kept going to church, but then they kind of told me I couldn't come anymore and made sure I wouldn't get communion or anything like that. So then it sunk in, and it kind of put me in a quandary, because I was like, well, I wanted to go to church, but they didn't want me to go to church. But in my head, I was still a Catholic, and I'm like, didn't know what to do. I wasn't out there seeking other churches. I was just kind of befuddled. Linda and I met and got married here at Bethlehem by Pastor Muller, but I still was a Catholic in my brain and wasn't going to join this church. I had a lot of questions that I couldn't answer, so Linda suggested to me that I read the Bible, that I might get some answers there. So I sat down and read the Bible cover to cover, and strangely, it didn't answer my questions. But what it did do for me is, I believe that I met God there. And for the first time in my life, my questions were not completely answered, but I understood what I had to do, and then that brought me back to church. The best way I could say it is just a joyful experience. It's kind of like the prodigal son, the son who was there with his dad the whole time, he's been with you, and everything the father had was for him. And I feel like everything the father has been for me, and it's just very joyful. It's joyful experiencing the fellowship, the service that all those things are just joyful. And I always think in my own mind, how empty it would be without that, an empty life. Being apart was not good in many ways. My big thing that I always told people is, don't let a man or men get between you and God. Like I was excommunicated by men from the Catholic Church. I don't know what their thinking was, what they hoped to accomplish by that, but I don't think that that's something that anyone should attempt to do. Just stay connected with God. Read the Bible, because in the Bible you're going to meet God, and God will direct you where you should be. I had a lot of very heartwarming, rewarding conversations with people who had gotten away from the faith, people who had no faith. I heard thousands of reasons why people didn't want to come to church, and it really helped to strengthen my faith. It's one of the things I love to do most, is to present the gospel to someone and talk about my faith to someone who's on the edge or doesn't have any. The Lord has prepared good works for me to do, and I hope that list is really long. I've done as much as I can so far. I hope to continue doing it. I get a lot of joy out of serving the Lord and other Christians and other people in general. That's what we should do, and it's a joyful experience.